Hi everyone, today we are going to do IELTS Cambridge A Test 1 Reading Passage 3. The topic is about telepathy, and if you paid attention already, it's about passage 3, and we've got two types of questions here. The first one is about the sentence endings. We're going to figure out which sentence should end with which one, right? And the next one is about the table completion. It requires to figure out the words out of the topic, right? And let's try to start the reading, okay? All right. If you paid attention here, we've got the questions from 27 to 30, and let's begin. Researchers with differing attitudes towards telepathy agree on. Well, all right, here we've got the word researchers, and they agreed on one topic, and this topic is about telepathy. And the next one, reports of experience during meditation indicated with what? And attitudes towards parapsychology would alter drastically with something. And recent Auto-Ganzfeld trials suggests that success rate will improve in the future, right? With something. With what? Okay. And I suggest to figure out the sentence here by locating in the text, and then after we have read the whole sentence here, and then it would be better to highlight the keywords here. But first of all, we got somehow we gotta do the allocation here, okay? Researchers. So let's just try to figure out the word parapsychologist here, and research institutes around the direction skeptical colleagues putting the various claims telepathy to the test and dozen rigorous scientific studies. Some researchers say the result constituted compelling evidence that telepathy is genuine. Other parapsychologists believe that the field is on the brink of collapse, having tried to produce definite scientific proof failed. Skeptics and advocates alike do concur on one issue. Yes. It looks like the location is here. Why? Because we've got the keywords like skeptics and advocates, which can be a direct synonym to the word researchers with differing attitudes, right? And skeptics and advocates, they have got they are totally different from each other, which means differing attitudes with researchers should be a synonym to the word skeptics and advocates, and alike do concur on one issue. One issue means telepathy, and concur means agree on, right? And now we gotta read here. However, the most impressive evidence so far has come from so-called Ganzfeld experiments, a German term that means the whole field, right? And discovery of mechanism. I don't think so. It's about mechanism or discovery. Need to create sustainable environment. The claims of high success rates. There is no success rate. Solution to a problem. Random guessing. Significance of Ganzfeld experiments. It looks like the correct answer, which means it's talking about Ganzfeld experiments here, right? And so-called, right? And the most impressive evidence, which means somehow significant. Significance, its significance, the importance of the Ganzfeld experiments, right? And more careful selection subjects, no. Altering conditions, no. And exactly the answer should be E. Okay, and let's just write it down 27 here in order to highlight the location of the 27's proof evidence, right? And reports of evidence during experience during meditation indicate during meditation. This could be somehow the exact location, right? Reports of telepathy experience by people doing meditation. During meditation, you see, we have the keyword here, during meditation. Led parapsychologists to suspect that telepathy might involve signals passing between people that were so faint they were usually swamped by normal brain activity. In this case, such signals might be more easily detected by those experimenting meditation, like tranquility in a relaxing whole field of light, sound of warmth, right? It looks like the answer should be B. I should have written E here, and this should be B. Why? Because suitable environment. Suitable environment can be a synonym to the word tranquility. That's suitable, right? And in a relaxing whole field of light, sound, and warmth. That's why it's suitable. By experiencing, create a suitable environment for telepathy, right? And it looks like B and 28 here. So, attitudes to parapsychology. So let's figure out the keywords. Attitudes to parapsychology. Do we have that word here? Attitudes, psychology, Ganzfeld, attitudes. No, it looks like there is no information here. Attitudes, psychology, parapsychology, attitudes, parapsychology. No. So, attitudes, parapsychology. We have the keyword here, parapsychology, right? But do we have attitudes? No. Parapsychology. Here, transform parapsychology. So, right, let's pay attention here. Transform can be a synonym to the word alter, right? Alter, parapsychology. And parapsychology will transform and alter. So, answering such questions would transform parapsychology. This has prompted some research to argue that the future lies not in collecting more evidence for telepathy, but in probing possible mechanisms. Probing possible mechanisms. Okay. And so if you pay attention here, in the attitude of mainstream scientists, we have the keyword here as well. What they are certainly not finding, however, is any change in attitude of mainstream scientists. Mainstream scientists could be a synonym to the word parapsychology, right? And most still totally reject the very idea of telepathy. The problem stems, at least in part, from the lack of any plausible mechanism for telepathy. Alright, we have the word plausible mechanism here, and we have the word possible mechanism, probing, doing, right? And discovery of mechanism for telepathy here should be a key word and the right answer. That's why let's write it down here. 28, 9, sorry, and here of course 29. And the last one, recent. This word just sparks in my mind that recent depends on the present situation, like early results, right? Early results. This word and already, they are somehow the time words. Some work has begun already with researchers trying to identify people who are particularly successful in Auto-Ganzfeld trials. Of course, we have the keyword Auto-Ganzfeld trials. And early results show that creative and artistic people do much better than average, right? All right, let's highlight them. And in one study at the University of Edinburgh, the musicians achieved a hit rate. A hit rate, that's the exact keyword to the word success rate, right? The evidence they are seeking and strengthening the case for the existence of telepathy. All right. The hit rate here directly synonym to the word success rate. Recent Auto-Ganzfeld, which means already early results. And in one study at the University of Edinburgh, right? In Auto-Ganzfeld trials, we have the keyword here, Auto-Ganzfeld trials as well. And let's just figure out the other ending of the sentence, okay? So it's not about discovery because it is used already. So let's try to just cross them out, okay? So A is done, and B, so E has been used. So E, B, A, and the claim, it's not talking about claim. Claiming means so they are claiming something, right? They are asking something to do or to have. Solution to a problem. Do we have a solution? Do we have no solution? More careful selection of subjects. Do we have the word subject? Could be. However, yeah, this is about subjects because it's talking about creating and creative and artistic people do much better than average. So they can carry out any results, I mean the trials, any experience compared to the other people, maybe to the average people. And in one study at the University of Edinburgh, musicians achieved a hit rate of 56%. So musicians, artistic people, they have a talent to do something, maybe to be right, to be better compared to the others, I mean average people, and more careful selection of subjects can be the right answer here, of course. So let's write down here 30. Okay, so the next one, Ganzfeld studies. This is just exact location, so I'm going to only pay attention to the passages, I mean paragraphs that just includes 1982 and 1987. Okay, so 82, do we have 82? 82, 82, we have here 82. And do we have 82 here? Of course. So involved a person acting as a someone. All right, let's pay attention here. Acting, which means doing as a someone. And I guess we need a word, a noun, exact, a singular verb. I mean singular noun here, and referring to the maybe profession, right? Because it's acting as requires to write a profession, refer to a people who picked out one. So they chose one. They selected something, one from a random selection of 4, and someone who then try to identify it. So if you ever paid attention here, we have 2 who's here, 30, 31 and 33, and I guess the exact word 31st should look like 33, okay, here. So let's try to okay, Ganzfeld experiments tries to recreate this condition of participants. So participants could mean somehow person, right? Sitting in soft reclining chair in a sealed room, listening to relaxing sound, with their eyes are covered with special filters, letting in only soft pink light. In early Ganzfeld experiments referring to the year 1982, right? Telepathy test involved the identification of a picture chosen from a random selection of four picture, a picture, which means one picture out of four, and it looks like here the answer should be picture here. So let's just write it down 32 here. Chosen from a random selection of four taken from a large image bank. The idea was a person acting as a sender. That's the keyword. I mean, that's the exact answer. So sender, okay, sender, as a sender who would attempt to beam the image over the receiver. You know, if you remember clearly, so it's asking sender and receiver here. Why? Because it's asking who and who here. That's why. Receiver, sorry. Receiver here. And positive results could be produced by factors something and something. So we're going to figure out two factors here. Okay, once the session was over, the person was asked to identify which of the four images had been used. Random guessing would give a hit rate of 25%. Hit rate here, right? Which means we are on the right track, right? Random guessing would give a hit. Telepathy is real, however, hit rate would be higher. The results from the Ganzfeld studies were analyzed by one of its pioneers, American parapsychologist Charles Honorton. They pointed to typical hit rates of better than 30%, a small effect, but one which statistical test suggests could not be put down to chance. So, the implication was that the Ganzfeld method had revealed real evidence for telepathy, but there was a crucial flaw in this argument, one routinely overlooked in more conventional areas of science. It's because they have literal exposed to proof. There were positive results factors. They range from sensory leakage, could be outright. Yeah, this is the keyword and why I have chosen sensory leakage and outright fraud, because we've been given the word from to, right? Such as or. And that's why these prepositions are helping me to figure out the right answer here. From to, so they are counting something here. 32, 35. So the answer should be sensory leakage. And the next one, outright fraud. So because they are talking about factors, right? And positive results. We have the keyword positive results here as well. Okie dokie. The next one. Auto-Ganzfeld studies 1987. So do we have the 7 here? Here. So something in plural were used for a key task to limit the amount of something here in carrying out tests. Were carrying out tests. and amount of something. All right. Results from hundreds of Auto-Ganzfeld tests were studied by Honerton in a meta-analysis, a statistical technique for finding the overall results from a set of studies. Though less compelling than before, the outcome was still impressive, right? And so, by minimizing human involvement, the idea was to minimize the risk of flawed results. I guess minimizing human involvement. By doing this, by minimizing human involvement, which means to limit, that's the keyword, right? The human involvement should be the correct answer here. So, human involvement. So, have I written? Okay, human involvement. Sorry, what am I doing? Okay, human involvement by doing something. So they were used. Human involvement here to limit, minimizing amount of something. After this, many researchers switched to Auto-Ganzfeld tests, an automated variant of technique which used computers to perform many of the key tasks. Yeah, this is the keyword here, computers. So computers were used to key task here, right? And to limit something. So by minimizing human involvement, the idea was to minimize the risk of flawed results. So by minimizing can be a synonym to the word limit, amount of something, amount of human involvement, right? This is the keyword. Human involvement, and let's write it down. 37 here, right? Human involvement is carrying out in the tests, and results were then subjected to a something, and this noun should be in singular. In 1987, results from hundreds, so the results, right, from hundreds of Auto-Ganzfeld tests were studied by Honerton in a meta-analysis, a statistical technique for finding the overall results from a set of studies. Here, the word meta-analysis, and there is comma here, and this part of the sentence or the sentence are trying to give somehow to determine the word meta-analysis. So what is meta-analysis? It is a statistical technique for finding the overall results from a set of studies. And here, if you ever paid attention, we have a comma, and this type of relative clause can identify the word before it. So we have the word meta-analysis, and this is the keyword here, meta-analysis. So the answer is meta-analysis 38, and it's not statistical technique because this word is only a just determine, okay? Determiner for the word meta-analysis. And something between different test results was put down to the fact that sample groups were not something, right? All right. Yet, some parapsychologists remain disturbed by the lack of consistency between individual Ganzfeld studies. So the word Lack of consistency should be the correct answer here. Between individual Ganzfeld studies, right? Different test results, of course, test studies results put down to the fact that so lack of consistency, right? And groups were not defenders of telepathy. Point out that demanding impressive evidence from every study ignores one basic statistical fact. Takes large samples keyword here, that detects small effects if current results suggest telepathy produce hit rates from only marginally about 25% expected by chance alone to be debated. Typical Ganzfeld study involving around 40 people. 40 people referring to the word group. People group. So group is not big enough. Not big enough. Group were not big enough, right? Okie dokie. And if you just paid attention, we have done the tests.